Okay, are we steady here? Welcome to my weekly spiel. Welcome to my weekly spiel. Yada yada blah blah blah. Yada yada blah blah blah. It's time for Margaret's weekly spiel. Okay, can you see me all right? The camera seems to be pointing upward towards the ceiling, and I don't want Bobby Orr to drop it. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about COVID-19 or whatever they call this thing, the coronavirus, and we're all sick of hearing about it. It's all we ever hear, it's everywhere. Even if you're not actually sick, we're all affected by it one way or another. It is affecting everything. And usually when I'm loaderizing my videos, I am on Google Chrome since I got my new computer. And even before I got my new computer, I had to convert to Google Chrome. And when you upload a video, they ask you, is this for kids? I usually say yes, because my videos are usually for everybody. Like, I want kids to see all my cute little stuffed animals and all the wonderful things that I make. But situations being what they are, I may have to talk about a few graphic, gross things. And I don't really want to do that, but I must. I must share online what I am going through in light of what this virus is doing to everything. Being autistic, I do not like last-minute changes of plans. I do not like things being sprung on me. That being said, today I was informed that my surgery is going to be bumped up a week early instead of being canceled like they previously decided on doing. It was originally supposed to be on the 31st, but now I believe it's going to be on the 24th. Yeah. Or the 23rd, I'm not sure. I'll find out when I'm there. I'm sure they said the well, because tomorrow I have to go for my pre-op. They actually literally wanted me to drop everything and go there now, like 1 o'clock, but I have no way of getting there. I don't drive, I don't know the bus route, and a taxi would cost a bloody fortune. So I called my in-laws, no answer, just voicemail, and I had to call the clinic back to tell them what was happening, and they said, okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. And I managed to get in touch with my in-laws after all, so I got to be there at 10, hand them the paperwork, and then go across the street to the hospital for my pre-op. And I know I wanted to get this over with, but I feel guilty. Like, I hope that I'm not dragging my family to their doom. The hospitals bring out the worst in me at the best of times, so my MP3 player is charging. I have to have other people with me because sometimes I'll need my MP3 player on. Like I said, hospitals bring out the worst in me. There's always screaming babies. That is my worst sensory nemesis. And that being said, I was supposed to have my surgery on the 31st, but I think I'm getting it on either the 23rd or the 24th. I am not sure. So, and my in-laws usually take me and my husband out for lunch after one of my medical appointments. But they won't be able to do that now because the virus means everything is closed except for takeout. So I just miss the simple pleasure of sitting at a table in a restaurant and ordering a meal, just having a good old-fashioned sit-down lunch. Jeanette and I found out the hard way that yesterday Toby's was closed, except for takeout and delivery. That's just a cough, it doesn't mean anything. And because we were there the week before when CMHA was having its orientation fair where we could see what programs were available, and the 24th was supposed to be registration. That's what it, yeah, so that was called off. Everything is being called off. Living room's closed. It's a good thing I found out, because the worst thing is getting somewhere and finding out the hard way that where you want to go is already closed. They're saying on the radio, oh, this is a time to be extra compassionate to one another and be the best versions of ourselves, which I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be lighthearted and have a spirit of levity and encourage one another through this difficult time. Don't mind me, I'm just getting a glass of water here. It is never underestimate the importance of staying hydrated. Here we go. And a squirt of lemon. That's what I like in my water. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Never mind. Just being a little silly here. So, here's the cap. Now I'll put this back in the fridge. You gotta love our collection of magnets everywhere we've been. This is my favorite. Mind you, we don't really have any bottles that need to be opened, but I got this in Vegas. It's full of all this colorful glitzy stuff inside. Anyway, this is how far I've gotten on my latest embroidery square for the Great Canadian Masterpiece quilt. And, excuse me for a minute, there's a lot of stuff sitting on top of this. I tried to show, dropping things again. I tried to show this to you last time, but it was too dark in the kitchen. I didn't realize you can't really see anything without this here overhead light on. I had plenty of natural daylight coming in from the kitchen window, but it was behind me, and I was just a shadowy silhouette. So this is my equestrian quilt. I got the small squares from the Quilters Guild meeting and the big one in the middle from the donations that came in at the living room maybe about 2 years ago already. And that being said, I hope that the Quilters Guild meeting isn't closed the second Monday of April. Everything is being closed and postponed, closed and postponed, closed, postponed, rescheduled. Brent Butt was on the 27th. That would have been tomorrow night, but he's been postponed till November 1st. Anyway, I didn't go into any gory detail about my surgery after all, so I suppose it's okay to show this video to everyone. Just let you know where I'm standing with this thing, how I'm surviving and making it through, and how I encourage everyone else to share their stories of resourcefulness. Here's the word for the day, proudly autotelic. This book was in, this word was in a book by, I think his name is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, whatever. He's written a book called Flow, and I had a book about creativity, and he coins the word autotelic, which means like creative, resourceful, easily amused, never bored. I am glad to be autotelic. I am also tetrachromatic, which makes it a lot of fun when I'm working on stuff like this. Look at all these shades. Unfortunately, there isn't an equivalent for, like, people who are tetrachromatic are blessed with an extra set of cones. That's what helps us to see vision. To see colors. Like, most people have 2 sets of rods and 2 sets of cones. I have 3 sets of cones. But we need rods to distinguish dark from light, which is why, actually, this is probably my worst quilt that I've ever made, because if you look closely, there are a lot of loops in the thread, a lot of places that I didn't pull through properly because it's black on black and I couldn't really see it. Anyway, I guess I'm just rambling away here, trying to pass the time, but I would like to say a special thank you and hello to all the people who have joined my group, people who actually survived coronavirus. There are 66 last time I checked, and more keep joining, and I'm happy that we all have a place to get together and share our resources, share our memes and funny stories and strategies for getting through this time. I really appreciate you all, and you are all in my prayers. I pray for your protection, and I pray for the recovery of everyone who is suffering from this problem. And I don't like to say pray for patience because we get tested even more, but is this the worst thing that we've had to live through in this lifetime, or what? I know some people have seen worse pestilence and plagues and stuff like that. There was the Black Plague back in the 1700s and all that, but we are going to survive. So, l'chaim. Bye-bye. Be back soon. Thanks for watching Weekly Spiel.